Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to this conference, conference number 40. Today we'll be talking about the third factor for the revolution of consciousness. Therefore, it is a quite important conference. Let us remember that there are three factors that allow us to achieve our goal of self-realization. Spiritual birth, which is done through the practice of suprasex and allows us to create the existential bodies of the being, bodies that allow us to have true presence in the different dimensions of nature. The second factor is psychological death, which allows us to eliminate the ego and release consciousness. And sacrifice for humanity, the third factor, which we are going to delve into today. Today, we will learn about the sacrifice for humanity factor, what it is, what its requirements are, how it helps us advance in our inner work, and the ways we can develop it. Well, first, let's start by saying that the sacrifice for humanity is to selflessly deliver knowledge to all humanity. The term sacrifice means sacred office. The sacred office is that of wisdom. It is related to the strength of the Father. The office of the Father is that of teaching, that of giving wisdom. When we teach the other brothers of humanity the way of self-realization, we intimately embody the force of the Father. It is evident that all humanity does not know why it lives. People have no idea what they were born for. Now, nobody has told them. They live in a state of hypnotism, totally fascinated and with their consciousness completely asleep. So, when we already know it, we have the responsibility to teach what is the reason for existing, why we were born, what are the possibilities of being, how can we integrate with the being, so that each one does what seems best to them, always respecting free will. Normally, in the term sacrifice, we see suffering because we are completely selfish. That force of egoism makes it hard for us to do it, to develop it. The ego will always oppose us doing it. Most people, when they come to the three factors, think that they are very easy to put into practice. But when they go to apply them, they do not understand why it becomes so difficult for them. Normally, the sacrifice would be very simple. It really gets complicated because within us we carry not one egoist, but millions of egoists pointing in different directions. Furthermore, we have within us the ego of fear, which is not a fear, but millions of fears that do not allow us to serve selflessly. If you reflect, you realize how, for example, our fear of what people will say about us, what they will think, the fear of sacrificing our leisure time, our time to make money, are obstacles to devoting time to sharing this knowledge. Love is always seen in the works. Lack of love at the root of fear in omission. When we begin to sacrifice ourselves for humanity, we automatically begin to become selfless. Let's study this. The word de-egoistize ourselves means to stop being selfish or to share what we have with others. If we really want to achieve something, we must eliminate the ego and selfishness within us, and the key is in the sacrifice for humanity. So, what is the only thing we truly have? What is our heritage? It is our knowledge. The wisdom that allows us to revolutionize, liberate, and self-realize ourselves in one existence. If we reflect on this, if we value what we possess, we will realize that this knowledge could not be bought with all the gold in the world. When we share it with other people, we are ceasing to be selfish. We are giving others the possibility that they can also self-realize. Think about this. If we see a person wandering on the street, hungry and cold, and we give them a coin or a piece of bread, we would be doing charity and helping that person for a day. But tomorrow, he will be hungry again. However, if we teach that person this knowledge, we are giving him the tools so that person knows the causes of his situation, can correct them, free himself from that state, and changes his life definitively and forever. If we reflect on this, we will realize that this knowledge is the most valuable thing we have been able to receive and the most valuable thing we can give to others. But let us understand from now on that we should not convince anyone. We should tell them but not beg them. However, or whoever is not prepared will not be able to start the path, and each one must convince himself. Okay? So, the conditions for the sacrifice for humanity are: first, we must deliver this knowledge for free. If it is charged, it is not a sacrifice but a business. All the religions, as you can see, made that mistake. Second, we must deliver it to everyone without distinction of sex, color, social class, wealth, race, age, etc. Okay? Also, we know we must not modify it. We are asleep and we cannot alter what awake beings organized. Each one of the tracks for the awakening of consciousness were ordered for that objective. Okay? So, we must deliver it pure, without adding other things that are not part of this knowledge. That are, or we have here, we find the 3 factors of the revolution of consciousness and nothing more. We also should not take away or hide anything from it, as this would adulterate it. This happened to those who hid the mysteries of sex. They castrated the birth factor. Many religions did that. We must not mix it with other knowledge, because this will adulterate it and will no longer be this knowledge. Things like palmistry, magnetic passes, Reiki, tarot, card reading, and other things of a pseudo-esoteric nature. Well, let's look at some reasons to sacrifice ourselves for humanity and reflect a little on each one of them. First, the being is the being, and the reason for the being is the being itself, okay? Second, to be able to de-egoistize ourselves and give a hard blow to the ego. Also, a labor of love is fueled by love. Love is in the works. If we do not do conscious works for others, we do not awaken love. Also, the sparks released with death must awaken love and learn to serve. Also, to be able to achieve the merits of the heart, then we have that the lion of the law is fought with charity. By doing conscious works for humanity, we will have the law in our favor. He who gives receives from what he gives. He who wants wisdom must give wisdom. If you help awaken others, you will get help. He who has and does not give of what he has, even the little he has will be taken away from him. When you have knowledge, you have a terrible responsibility. If one does not give it, the law will come upon him. They charge you for having it because it is an expensive right, terribly expensive. And how do they charge you? The karma of having wisdom and not giving it is paid with blindness. Normally, it is the karma of those who had the knowledge and hid it. Then the law also hides the light from him, because the light represents wisdom. Also, to balance the birth factor, a person who sacrifices himself for humanity can be born 10 times faster than the egoist. Also, to balance the dying factor, the death factor. Each one of our defects has its own debts. If we want to eliminate them, we will have to pay what they owe. Also, let's remember that we owe the karma of 7 existences. If we are going to self-realize in one existence, we must pay it in cash. The sacrifice for humanity produces dharma, or cosmic money, with which we can pay karma. When we teach, we are in contact with the strength of the Father. He teaches us when we are teaching others. Also, we are going to receive strength for the different jobs, unfoldings, meditation, retrospections, etc., etc. Also, we'll understand better this knowledge, okay? So that we do not forget this knowledge. Also, this is going to help us to become deeper in this knowledge while consciousness awakens. Also, We must do it to avoid falling into entropy or cosmic night. Also, let's remember that he who works for the Christ embodies him. Also, we are going to free ourselves to become useful to the being, no longer the evil. And well, the pleasure that comes from working selflessly to achieve the discipline which will allow us to enter the absolute, okay, and so many other benefits from it. Undoubtedly, if we continue to observe, everyone believes that having listened to the lectures once is enough. But to the extent that a person reviews the topics, the being teaches him or her. While one teaches others, each day he gives new details. Then the instructors get deeper, and that depth is from reviewing the same topic. We take the agenda, we focus on it, and we see from lecture 1 to conference 50. But with each turn, we see it in more depth. Each time we go, we will see something new, we will perceive something new. It doesn't even become routine, but rather you begin to delve into it and understand it. When one says, our daily bread, he is referring to the wisdom that comes from the Father daily to our hearts. So, when one makes the request, give us our everyday bread, is asking for wisdom to be able to feed himself, to feed the consciousness. Because not only we live on physical food, but also on those manifestations that come from the higher worlds. The pineal gland and the pituitary glands, through a secret path, through a very special door, can send the wisdom of the Father to the heart. But you have to feel it, you have to live it. And when we are teaching and practicing the office of the Father, we will also receive wisdom. Okay, so now let's see various ways to sacrifice ourselves for humanity. The sacrifice for humanity consists of two major aspects, fishing and teaching. Fishing is looking for people interested in doing the work. Here, the various forms of dissemination and advertising stand out. Of course, to teach, you must first learn the lectures and then prepare, okay? Let's look at the different ways to make sacrifice for humanity. The first way is when we start attending a course or watching these conferences. Then, invite acquaintances, family, friends, neighbors, etc., to attend the course or watch it. Then you, when you have invited everyone you know, family and friends, you have to continue with the rest of humanity. Then you can distribute flyers and invite people to attend. You can put up posters or do other types of advertising campaigns. In order to sacrifice ourselves for humanity, we must prepare ourselves by reflecting and understanding what we have learned. Later, the person will be trained to be able to dictate the lectures in a room, or it could be online, as I'm doing now. Once we have learned, we give introductions to new people. Later, you will open your first room and take charge of it, or it could be an online page. Afterwards, rooms will be opened in other places to spread knowledge elsewhere. Later, you will become an international instructor and will open groups in other countries. Then lead the groups and guide them. Also, you could write books of knowledge. Also, advertising campaigns can be done, local, national, or global. Then comes the waking up to be able to make a more conscious sacrifice. So let's reflect on this. The important thing is that when you decide to teach, it doesn't matter where. It can be on the street, in a park, in a cafeteria, etc. Everything you teach becomes strength. And we need strength to be able to move forward. So it is urgent to reflect on this conference to see if we can change the attitude towards sacrificing for others and realizing that it is impossible to awaken our consciousness without practicing this third factor. Maybe you have asked yourself, why do so many people arrive to this knowledge and why do so few stay? Well, because they have nothing to support them here inside the bus. The bus symbolizes the conference room. That's why they are living permanently. They do not have enough Dharma. That is why you have to constantly be generating that Dharma and that strength to be internally paying this knowledge you are receiving. So the formula is start doing. Remember that love is always present in our actions and the lack of love due to fear in our omissions. And well, this was today's conference. I hope for you to be motivated to start practicing this factor. In fact, the 3 factors for the revolution of consciousness as a whole. If you are interested in receiving the material from these conferences to study and prepare to begin your process of sacrificing for humanity, you can send me a message that I am completely willing to help and guide you in everything necessary regarding learning and teaching these conferences to the people. So thank you very much, and until next time.